the appraiser's maps?
No, I'm talking to mine one.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. As you had one with the yellow lines in it just a minute ago, we didn't have those.
Yeah, you don't have this one.
Yeah, like that.
And you didn't have the cross section either.
We don't have colored ones.
Does
We
that
have,
help?
we have black and white.
Do those colored ones help you, or they just confuse you more? I mean, I
It's
don't know.
confusing. Well,
Well,
it's fine, it's
they're
fine.
That's a little busy, and so was this, you know, so that's where,
Yeah.
This is a busy project.
yeah, well,
Okay.
I know this is what you guys had, and P&Z also had that same one.
Pleasure of the board.
So moved.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Massey, second by Commissioner Lockley. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 4, Commissioners. And this was a 4-1 vote from the Planning and Zoning for recommendation. Consideration of a request for commercial site plan review, place an elevated 8x25 open takeout barbecue restaurant, the 24x33 covered deck around the building, and to also fill a portion of an isolated wetland for the purpose of constructing a gravel parking area and driveway access, which will also include a 40x18 corrugated HDPE culvert pipe, metered and sections. How's that corrected? Located in section 31, township 8 south, range 6 west, 6 east point, Franklin County. This was submitted by Garlic Environmental, agent for Mr. Brian Bernard, the applicant. That's the location right here, as you have on your tablet. I think I also have a few more drawings that you might have on your tablet that I added last night, mostly because the question came up in P&Z about the roof line. I'll come back to these as needed.
Right where's that at, Dan?
Right.
You know
right
where
south of the,
Patch Street comes in to Island Drive, and then you got the Ice House right here?
Yeah.
Right.
He's right in between there and Island Water Service.
Yeah, the right south of water service.
Yeah, that's up there, Commissioner. If you look, that's right up there. The ice, the little ice house coming out. This is Island Drive.
That's the ice house right there.
That's right there. And that's what he's going to be right next to it.
Now, that
Okay.
one south is the water service now.
Yep. Water Service.
And this is just a takeout barbecue?
Right.
Yeah, there is a place that they can sit and wait for the food to be prepared so they can go with it. So the sitting there is for waiting, not for you to be served.
Right.
Trying to cover, the chairman wasn't quite clear as to why he was against it. He had some concerns about the screened-in waiting area, if I remember correctly. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get to the, where we can see the roof.
There's a lot of buildings starting to take place there.
Right.
On that side?
Yeah, I mean, no, all over the county.
This is the one that they didn't have, that was not part of the package either, where it showed the roof and the waiting area and the screened-in area. There was discussion too about the wetlands being filled in for parking, if there was adequate parking area, since there's no one staying there to eat. And you might have 1 or 2 employees. That was also discussed. Let's see, I'm trying to see here. That was the handicap parking right there, and these the other 4 parking spots. So, Mark did say that that was adequate parking for the restaurant, because again, no one was going to sit there and eat. They were all just sitting, waiting for the food to be prepared. And he would also have delivery, which he said was trying his best to cut down, the traffic to a specific restaurant.
This was a fun design, as you can imagine. It's the, like a depression between everything else around has been filled, except for this site. Mr. Gernard's out here in the audience. Mr. Gernard's a Navy veteran, came back to Franklin County where he was born, and basically what he's trying to do is something that he can make a living on, but also provide a service that's not in the East Point area. So basically, he asked me, what can I do with this? And I said, well, do you really want to buy this and fill it? He said, well, I already bought it, but here we go. So basically how we looked at this thing is trying to minimize the impact as much as we can, and that's why you see that building up in piles. He'd have to be up in piles anyway because it's an A zone. So he's got a pile supported structure, put a building on top of his deck, put a roof in the back for shade and, get his patrons out of the weather, so to speak. We have no plans to screen. I don't know what it came up or what it would even be an issue,
I
but
think it's something they brought up at P&Z.
Yeah.
About the people waiting in mosquitoes and stuff.
But what I will tell you is that not only P&Z approved it, but also we have our FDOT approval for the curb cut coming into it, the driveway. We don't have a problem with traffic, local services, okay. We had to, since it's commercial, we have to get a commercial, we have to do a stormwater plan. I've got Gina Johnson, the audience here, that's a professional engineer to help us design this thing. I mean, there's a lot of work into this thing. And then we also minimized the impact as much as we could to what we had to do, and that was for the parking and for the access coming in. Everything else is in piles, and so we're going to do our part, not create any more flooding issues, even though we might be taking water from the other side that's already filled. We're doing our part not to do that. It didn't make any sense to fill it anyway because he would have to mitigate for it. We're keeping it down to minimum, so even the regulatory agencies are not having an issue with that. But even so, he's still got to get up and meet the A zone. His building will be attached to the top, so it meets wind load and as well as the flood. So he's done everything he's been able to do to make this thing work with what he has to work with.
How did they go, 4-1?
4-1.
Pleasure of the board.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Massey, second by Commissioner Lockley. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I want to ask a question. Mr. Rowland,
Okay.
with this project, I know what's being discussed today and how it is. And again, I just feel the need, in my area especially, this is what we're approving. So it doesn't need to be something else 5 years from now. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I just want to make that.
Well, here we go, design hard and fast to get everything engineered so you can get going on it. But even East Point Water and Sewer, we did get a letter from them we're good to go. I mean, there were some real problems with this one to get there. One was wastewater, but East Point Water Sewer is going to service them.
Yeah,
So we're
I'm already aware of
good.
it.
Okay. Yeah, you're correct.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for your service. Whoever was made it. And is it gonna be homemade by the?
I think so.
All right.
We do have a motion and a second on the floor. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All opposed? Motion carries.
We have one more item that's not involved Mr. Carter, believe it or not. Mark there was a scrivener's error, and he wanted P&Z to recommend approval to you guys. Consideration to amend the zoning map at Sun and Sang Unit 2, the Alligator Point, to reflect the actual boundary between the private property and Ball Point State Park. Apparently, it's a very old map, and one of the lines actually wrote over what the zoning actually was at that point, and so Mark came upon that, and he just needs it corrected in a current map.
The property owner had bought a lot of some of the sand that we had thought 20 years ago was just part of the acquisition of Ball Point State Park. We weren't aware of that acquisition until they came in and said, well, I bought that lot. So then Mark went back and reviewed it, and sure enough,
It's just a Scrivener there.
script there is what it is.
So moved.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Sanders, second by Commissioner Jones. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
That ends my report, Commissioners.
Next on the agenda will be Ms. Marcia Johnson.
Morning, Commissioners. I have one action item and two information items. I need two commissioners to be appointed to the Value Adjustment Board and a citizen member. Anticipating that, we're in a time frame now that I think we'll be trying to set the meetings to the end of August. I had contacted Mr. Donnie Gay, who had served as our alternate to Mr. Walter Armistead for several years. And Donnie agreed that he didn't mind being the representative if the board went along with it. So I just just throwing his name out there unless somebody doesn't have someone else.
Pleasure of the board.
Last year, I think we only had 1 or 2 actual meetings and less than 10 petitions were filed. I don't think there was very many petitions.
Wasn't it Commissioner Massey and Commissioner Lockley last year, was it?
I've been on it for 4 years.
All those in
Maybe on it for
favor?
another 4 years.
All those in favor? Pleasure of the board.
No. I was gonna give y'all a break, and I was gonna make a motion that myself and Commissioner Johnson serves on it, and give y'all a break a little bit.
Do we have a second?
Second?
We have a
Does that
motion
include
by
Mr.
Commissioner
Gay?
Sanders.
Also include Mr. Gay on it.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Sanders, second by Commissioner Massey. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you, that was easy enough. For information, I just want to remind the board that we have our budget workshops this Thursday and Friday, July 20th and 21st, beginning at 9 a.m. And then for information, each of you should have received a copy of the county's audit reports for the year 15-16. And it will also be posted on the county's website. It's required by law.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Madam Clerk, have you looked at the county auditor's report?
I glanced at it and I talked to my staff.
Did you see anything that needs to be noted on record as being, did we have any deficiencies or anything like that?
Let me grab that audit just a second. I think it was on pages, pages 80 and 81. I'm sorry, 82 and 83 actually have the findings. And you have one where we don't actually prepare the financial statements each year. We have the help of the auditors to do that. And that's mainly just because staffing. But I've been talking to my finance officers about trying to start on a small scale, trying to do those financial statements ourselves. So that's been in there every year for a long time. Of course, they always write us up about the need for segregation of duties, and that's just staffing too. I mean, we don't have enough people that work to separate out the duties completely, and that's in there every year.
Okay.
There's another one about audit adjustments, and that's just the normal too. We're always going to have journal entries that are recommended by the auditors that the finance do from the different departments. And internal control over financial statements, that's another one on the financial statements. And then there were overpayment of salaries by 2 constitutionals that was found, and that money should be returned. The present constitutional officers are responsible for collecting that money, and then it would have to be returned to the board. That's your money. So I think that the auditors have been in touch with the constitutional officers about
They
that.
have?
I hope they have.
Okay. Stay on top of it, because like I said, I never have saw this before in an audit report. I'm glad
I
you brought
don't
that to our
remember
attention. I
it
didn't see it.
myself, but I was aware that what happened was, some of them get paid different than I do, and they overpaid themselves 1 week. So, we have been in touch with their the offices now and, communicated to them that it's their responsibility to get that money back and turn it back over to my office. for the county.
Who actually has to pay the money back, clerk?
The person that received
The person that received the
the
money?
money.
Okay.
But have we ever had anything like this before? I don't remember that.
I don't remember if it has.
That's what I'm saying, I'm concerned with this. Just stay on top of it and just let us know. Is there anything else that you saw that kind of hit you? Because, like I said, this book is so thick, you can't hardly tell, you know.
Yeah, my
What I-
staff has said they felt like, overall it was an audit, normal audit, and
It may just
nothing
be-
out of the ordinary,
But they do
nothing to
get-
worry about.
Well, they do get one extra check,
One extra check.
they paid themselves one extra check.
Yes.
And they didn't say how much it was, it just,
And we don't know in my office, so we can't really tell somebody what they owe. The auditors have to be involved with that.
Just stay on top of it. And monitor
that's what you have to go back and get.
Anyway,
it. We have to be glad.
But if any of you have any questions after you really get to look at the actual findings, let me know, and I'll be glad to get any answers that you need. Anybody have anything for me this morning?
No.
thank you, Ms. Morrison.
All
You're
right.
doing a good job.
Mr. Chairman, before we move into Mr. Pierce's, what could be a very lengthy report, Mr. Will Kendrick is in the audience, and would like an audience report.
Okay.
If you don't mind, Senator Dunn.
I'm going to send it around to the record.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioner Will Kendrick, Congressman Neil Dunn's office, and thank you for allowing me to say a few words. And first of all, I want to congratulate you on investing in the future. It was a vision some 12, 14 years ago that we had when we talked about sports fields, and that was countywide. And that's sort of like the Field of Dreams. You build it and they will come. So y'all build it and it's happened. So congratulations on that, for having that foresight, for investing in that future, maintaining those and continuing to maintain and continue to make those investments. On behalf of Dr. Dunn, I want to thank you for allowing him to serve. As you know, it's been a busy time in Washington. As I said earlier, last time I was here, they've passed more laws and resolutions the last first 6 months of any presidency that's happened in a long time. And so they've been real busy. I can tell you that I've not seen my boss much. I talked to him a lot on the phone, but he's definitely not been in the second congressional district, but they've kept him in Washington quite a bit. So we're looking forward to it being in the district some in August during the recess, but healthcare and some of the other stuff may change that as well. I can tell you that last week you were very proud to have the endorsement of Grover Norquist on the tax bill that he filed. And basically what that does is basically says that IRS, you're going to play by the same rules that the people have to play by. And what that does is actually currently IRS can go back 10 years on folks as far as money owed to them. But you as a citizen can only go back 2 years. So he's proposed a new bill that says 7 years, whether it's you or whether it's us, we're on the same field. And so it's got a lot of traction. It's a great bill. It's a consumer-friendly, American-friendly bill, and I understand the White House likes it as well. So we're looking for that to be pretty successful in the future. It does look like we're going to be pretty successful in receiving some military dollars. They announced last week that for the first time in a number of years, there's been increases in the budget for military spending as well as pay raises for the military and women that serve our country and protect us day in and day out. On another note, I was pleased to be able to take part last week with Alan Pierce, representing the county on the Alligator Point issue that continues to plague the county. It has since 1978 when the state of Florida adopted on the county. Talking to Mr. Pierce, I didn't realize that y'all only received 10 loads of sand in that time period from the state. So congratulations on doing a lot with nothing for the state. On the federal government level, we're hoping that we're going to keep the pressure on FEMA. But I can tell you, I don't think the problem is really FEMA at this point. It's that study, environmental assessment that's going to need to take place. There's been, over the years, there's been a number of proposals expressed. I would encourage the commission to stay focused on the plan that is before you. Try not to divert on other options or potential afterwards, but that you stay focused on the sheeting that's involved and that's been recommended, and so that those people who work for you through environmental studies and FEMA, and so it doesn't give them the opportunity for their attention to be diverted elsewhere. It's an important issue. It needs to get done. Congressman Dunn is vowed that we're going to make weekly calls to FEMA and whoever else that we need to, in order that we can sort of fast track study and fast track the opportunity for the county to get the money, the funds, and what they need in order to get that done. So, again, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, we appreciate you allowing us to serve. If there's any questions, I'll be glad to answer. I did want to mention what other thing that I forgot to mention. I hope that you all are considering taking part in the invitation that was sent to each of you, as well as the other 66 counties across the state. I know there's been a little confusion about, but the White House extended an invitation to all 67 county commissioners, to the White House for a briefing on the 27th, the afternoon of 27th, from 12 to 6. And that's a great opportunity. It's not what I would call, as some have referenced, a dog and pony show. I think the interest is valid. I think the White House, I know the President wants to hear directly from local governments. What are some of your issues? What are some of your concerns? And what are some of your, reasons for not being able to develop a new business and do the things that you need to do? And so I think this is a great opportunity that they've invited you to come firsthand and speak to different agencies. There's potential that a lot of the cabinet secretaries will be there. It's a great opportunity, whether you never get to ask the first question, it's a great opportunity for you to build relationships. So if there is another storm event, or if there is another dredge issue, or whatever, those folks are going to be the people that are going to be in the room. And so you'll have 6 hours to talk to the people who make the decisions. And so I would encourage each of you, but at least one of you, to at least designate who's going to be the person that speaks for the county, because I'm not sure what the actual timeline is going to be that you'll be able to speak. But I would encourage you not to approach this from a cookie cutter. I know there's been some associations that you all were members of who have pushed you and encouraged you to be cohesive and come together and have all the same top 5 issues on a briefing paper and all this stuff. That's hogwash, okay? I'm just going to tell you. And that's what I told that person. You need to come up with what's important for Franklin County. Just like I told the people in Dixie County, the people in Bay County, the people in Levy County, people in Washington, Holmes County. The 5 issues that are important to you aren't going to be the same 5 issues that should be on other people's paper. Now, you will share some, FEMA and some of these other issues. You may have rural hospital concerns, but in Waukegan County, that's not a concern. So I would encourage you to come up with your top 5 or 6 issues, so that if you have the opportunity, you can express directly to the White House and their representatives what's important, what's some of the really, what's the fire in the gut, what's the real problem. So I would encourage you to be there. I will have actually been invited to attend that as well. So I'll be there if there's any communications problems. We're planning on doing a brief hour or so in the morning, probably at the Capitol. We've got the conference room there. The Congressman Dunn and some others will be there as well to meet with those constituents that come for that event. So, but it in no way is to change or try to, create an agenda. We want to hear from you as well on what's important to you. So we hear it day in and day out, it's already in the field, but I think it's good that we share that same voice when we get to Washington. So, Mr. Chairman.
I just want to thank you, Will, for all you've done for the county and instilled your hearts here in Franklin County, and I know that, and I appreciate it.
Last time I checked, I still got sand in those shoes.
You might move off now, then, but you still here.
And I still got cancer. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Any other comments from the board?
Thank you, William.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Sanders?
Thank you.
Well, I think it's not, no, I'm kidding. He knows he's going. No, so you're gonna be there?
Yes.
Okay, so you can take a,
So you take us out to dinner, huh?
We do appreciate you coming in today, Will, and giving us some insight as to what the commissioners will be looking at when they do travel up there. And I'm assuming that we'll have a contingent of commissioners go. And we're very delighted that we've been invited to attend this meeting. I don't ever remember the board of county commissioners from the state of Florida being invited to the White House to address some of these issues.
I've talked to several of the long-term commissioners, one of which sits beside you, but there's others as well. And I've never I've not been able to find anybody that's ever got a personal invite to come to the White House for anything.
But you know, this may be the beginning of something, so that, you know, maybe something that becomes annual where you can get up there and actually, having been there several times myself and trying to travel to each individual congressman or senator's office but having everything under one roof like that, it's very unique and I think it'd be advantageous for the county to send some representatives up there to voicing our opinion on some of the issues that we're dealing with here on behalf of the people of Franklin County.
I agree.
And what I see is a very good opportunity to make Franklin County known what you haven't done, you know. I mean, you've made it known to the older administration, but to make it known that Franklin County's hearing our problems, and it's more than just, you know, the dredging or this or that, the other. It's the estuary. It's everything. It's everything. So, you know, we're going to do that. But I never can remember anybody being invited to the White House from local government, county commission. I can't remember that. And to have Florida be the first state that does that, it's going to be something. And good thing that we're going to be there, up there with our friends, because we all know the commissioners from around the state of Florida. And when you get people like Mr. James Bailey out of Calhoun County, or Ralph Thomas out of Waukella, or, you know, Jordan Nugent out of Monroe County, or, you know, you're going to see something go on. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be interested excited to see how the interaction goes in between everybody. So, you know, it's not just small versus large, rural versus, you know, metropolitan cities. It's about Florida. So,
Mr. Chairman, if I could, I also want to just say how much we appreciate the interaction and the relationship that we have with county staff. But Michael and Alan both have been great, especially as we've worked through this Alligator Point Road and getting us up to speed where we need to be. I'd be remiss if I didn't once again congratulate our clerk, which is the best clerk in the state, who leads our state association now, and he does a great job as well, and has helped us a lot in communicating with our other clerks across our district. We appreciate your help with that as well.
Any other comment from the commissioners? Mr. Kendrick? We would like to extend our thanks to yourself and to the congressman for his dedication to the county and continued service to the county, and we appreciate all your help.
We'll be in touch. We'll be back sometime in August.
Thank you. Next on the agenda will be Mr. Alan Pierce.
What about the comp plan amendment?
Mr. Chairman, there's been a publication error in the ad that was run in the newspaper. That error was only discovered on Friday as staff was preparing for today's public hearing, preparing the data and analysis. We discovered that mapping error, so it is necessary, since this is a notice issue, it's procedural in nature, it's fundamental. These public hearings will have to be canceled for today and re-advertised.